Hello everyone, in today's lecture we will learn how to find the gradient. The gradient particularly refers to a slope. If you have a vertical line, then the gradient is infinite. As the slope continues to decreases, the gradient decreases as well. For example, if this line has a gradient of 5, then this line will have a gradient of 4. And as it continues to decrease, a horizontal line will have a gradient of 0. Now in maths, the gradient can be written as m, and the formula for finding out gradient is m is equals to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Now we will apply this formula to find out the gradient of some questions. In question 1 part A, we are given two coordinates a and b. The coordinates of a are 0, 0 and the coordinates of b are minus 2, 1. Now you can write these coordinates as x1 and y1, and you can write these coordinates as x2 and y2. We already know that the formula is m is equals to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So now we will plug in the numbers. y2 is 1, therefore 1 minus, and y1 is 0, 1 minus 0 upon x2 is minus 2 minus x1 is 0. So you get 1 upon minus 2, which can be written as minus 1 upon 2, and this is your gradient. Moving on to part B, the coordinates in part B are c is 2, minus 3 and d is 1, 7. Now again we will apply the same formula, which is m is equals to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. You can write this as x1 and y1, and you can write these coordinates as x2 and y2. Now y2 is 7 minus bracket negative 3, because y1 is negative 3 upon x2 minus x1. Therefore 7 minus minus is plus, therefore 7 plus 3 upon 1 minus 2 is minus 1. Therefore you get 10 upon minus 1, and this can be written as minus 10, and this will be your gradient. Now let's move on to part C. In part C you have two coordinates, which are E is minus 2, 4 and F is minus 5, 8. Now once again, in order to make things easier for ourselves, write down the coordinates as x1, y1 and x2, y2. The formula for gradient is m is equals to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Now just plug in the numbers. 8 minus 4 upon minus 5 minus minus 2. And then you will get 4 upon minus 5 minus minus is plus 2. Therefore 4 upon minus 3, which can be written as minus 4 upon 3, and this will be your gradient. Now since we are done with the basic level questions, let's move on to some advanced level questions. In this case you have been given a graph, and in the graph you have been given some coordinates. Now you have to find the gradient of each of the lines. First line you have A and B, and in order to find the gradient line, write down the coordinates of A. The coordinates of A are 0, 1 and the coordinates of B are 7, 1. Now x1, y1 and x2, y2. Apply the formula m is equals to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Therefore 1 minus 1 upon 7 minus 0. Now 1 minus 1 is 0 and 7 minus 0 is 7. Now any number divided or multiplied by 0 is 0. Hence your gradient is 0. I already told you when the lecture started that the gradient of a horizontal line is 0. And hence, because AB is a horizontal line, the gradient of this line is also 0. Now the question says that find the gradient of AE. Write down the coordinates in order to make things easier for yourself. A is 0, 1 and E is 6, 4. Now this is x1, y1 and this is x2, y2. Write down the formula once again. y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Now plug in the numbers. 4 minus 1 upon 6 minus 0. Therefore 3 upon 6. 3 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6. Therefore your gradient is 1 upon 2. Moving on, let's find out the gradient of DC. The coordinates of D are 0, 5 and the coordinates of C are 6, 0. Simply just write x1 y1, x2 y2 and write down the formula for gradient, which is y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Just plug in the numbers. 0 minus 5 upon 6 minus 0, therefore minus 5 upon 6, and this is gonna be your gradient. Last but not the least, we need to find the gradient of DE. D is 0, 5 and E is 6, 4. Once again, x1 y1, x2 y2. M is equals to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. 4 minus 5 upon 6 minus 0, therefore minus 1 upon 6, and this will be your gradient. Now let's move on to a tricky question. The question says the coordinates of A and B are 3k, 8 and k minus 3 respectively. Given that the gradient of the line segment AB is 3, find the value of k. Now in this question the gradient is already given, but the values are not there, the numbers are not there. So first of all, AB, the gradient of AB is equals to 3. Now the formula for gradient is M is equals to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. The coordinates of A are 3k, 8 and the coordinates of B are k, minus 3. Just write x1 y1 and x2 y2. Now instead of writing M, write 3 because 3 is the gradient. And now plug in the coordinates, which are minus 3, minus 8 upon k minus 3k. Now this is will be equal to 3 is equals to minus 3 and minus 8 are minus 11 upon k minus 3k is minus 2k. Now minus 2k is going to be multiplied by 3, which would be equal to minus 6k is equals to minus 11. Minus minus would be cancelled out and k would be 11 upon 6. You see how they twisted the question? They gave you the gradient but they asked you to find the variable. Therefore the question can be twisted as well. Hope you like the video.